I remember the audition process took a long time, and so after 2 weeks I had kind of given up and thought that they had chosen somebody else. And then I got the call from my agent, and I jumped from my bed to my floor, to my bed, to my floor, and just ran around my room for about 10 minutes screaming, and I was so ecstatic. I just couldn't believe that this was happening.
I'm Julianna Mauriello, and I'm from Pleasantville, New York.
I remember being 5 years old, and I had seen a performance of My Fair Lady in my town, and I remember being in my room and just singing all the songs, and my mom coming in, and she was just like, "Wow, you're just a natural at this." And I told her, I think I told her when I was 5, I said, "I want to be on Broadway, Mom." And we decided together that if we were really serious about this, and this was something that I really wanted to do, that we had to go into the city. And so I got an agent, and she sent me on an audition, and I booked a show. And that was the first show I did, Oklahoma. And I was 10 years old, and I was performing in New York every night, 8 shows a week. And then suddenly I was kind of living out this childhood dream.
While I was in my second show on Broadway, which was Gypsy, I auditioned for LazyTown, and at the time I knew very little about it, but I knew that it was filming in Iceland. It was a kid's show, and I had my audition like any normal audition, and they eventually made their decision, and then within a month I was packing up my apartment with my mom, and we were moving to Iceland.
I remember arriving, it was snowing, and we got to Keflavik Airport, and there's all these lava fields, and so we got in a taxi, and I turned to my mom and I said, "It looks like we're on the moon." I was in shock. And then arriving to the set, it was this big warehouse full of people, full of these huge sets built already, and I was just in awe, I think, of the size of it, and meeting all of these people who would become a really big part of my life. And I just don't think I was expecting such a big change, and it really was a big change for me. LazyTown is a children's show. It was shown on Nickelodeon Junior and Noggin and plenty of other countries around the world. But in terms of what the show's about, it's just about this small town where there's this cast of funny, quirky characters, and I got to play a young girl named Stephanie, who is the mayor's daughter in the town, and she's just this fun, energetic little girl who loves to dance and loves to sing, with my pink wig and my pink dress, and she's a very bubbly character. I would have to say that I got closest with the woman who was my makeup artist. Her name was Hannah Maya, and we spent a lot of time together because every morning I had an hour of makeup and hair. And she had this fun idea in the beginning that she would teach me Icelandic, and so every morning as I was getting my makeup done, she would teach me different things in Icelandic. I remember the first thing I ever learned was to sing the Itsy Bitsy Spider in Icelandic. And then she would just teach me words that were helpful on set, and then it kind of spread to just learning the language. So that was a really fun way for us to kind of bond. So we finished filming the first season, and I got to go home for, I think, about a year and a half or so. And then they decided to go back and film a second season. So I went back to Iceland at the end of 9th grade into 10th grade, which was a different experience. I was not as young, and I wasn't quite as willing to be playing this very young character at that point. I was a teenager, and I didn't really want to be stuck in this very young, always optimistic, always happy, bubbly little character that I was playing. It's definitely shocking to think that people know who I am, but they don't know me, but they still would want to know me or would want to send out a message to me. So like seeing the videos on YouTube or getting fan mail. It's a little bit crazy to think of, but I try to ignore the kind of weird videos and the weird letters and then just focus on the fans who the show is made for, the kids, and what it means to them. I'm here at Middlebury and I'm a psychology major, but I have a dance minor. I wanted something outside of the performing arts world, and I had friends who were so motivated and just so driven, and I noticed that it wasn't everything for me anymore. It was important to me, but it wasn't defining me. And so college was a chance where I could kind of separate myself from that and go and explore other things that I hadn't had a chance to earlier and see if this was really what I wanted. And I've found that I think I'm actually kind of happy. And so I guess I made the right decision. I like looking back at myself when I was a lot younger, when I was that little kid just kind of singing and dancing and having this dream, and somehow I was, I don't know, motivated enough, fearless enough to really take it on and to really pursue it. It's been a long time probably since I've jumped up and down on my bed. Maybe I should.